The New York Rangers are going into a must-win Game 6 versus the Florida Panthers in this year's Eastern Conference Finals. If the Rangers lose in Game 6 here in Florida, the season is over. Their Stanley Cup hopes are finished. But if they win, they go back to New York for Game 7, where the series will be tied at 3 apiece, and they'd have a chance to move on with just a single win if they can win Game 6 there to the Stanley Cup Finals, potentially to play the winner of the Dallas Stars series and the Edmonton Oilers. So hopefully the Rangers can pull through here with a win. But in today's video, we have a ton of things to cover, so let's get right into it here. Starting off, let's take a look here at some potential lineup changes we could possibly see for Game 6. I think the defensive side of things there for the Rangers, those lines are going to stay the exact same from what we've seen from the past few games. Whether I like it or not, I'm guessing it's probably what's going to happen. But taking a look at the forwards here, I think one of the biggest question marks is what's going to happen there with Jack Roslovic. He has not quite been doing enough here, honestly. He's only got 1 point so far in this 5 games so far we've seen in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think he's playing a good overall game, and right now he's just not doing enough for this team. Personally, I think he should be out of the lineup here. He should be a healthy scratch, and I wouldn't mind seeing Filip Chytil stay up there alongside Kreider and Zibanejad, definitely over Jack Roslovic, who I don't think has been very good at all so far these playoffs. I think they're definitely more talented players that they can put up there, and Jack Roslovic, in my opinion, should probably be a healthy scratch. I also wouldn't mind seeing Blake Wheeler up there alongside Kreider and Zibanejad as well. We have seen that throughout this regular season, so if that were to happen, I wouldn't be against it either. But Chytil or Wheeler, I definitely would rather see on that line alongside Kreider and Zibanejad over Jack Roslovic. For the other top line there, the Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere line, that's going to stay the exact same. That's not going to change at all. That line has been the best line for the Rangers, especially with what we've seen from Trocheck and Lafreniere. And for the third line, I would like to see Will Cooley go back up there on that third line there instead of the fourth line to play alongside Alex Wennberg, but the right wing spot is kind of open there, in my opinion. It could be Chytil, it could be Wheeler, or it could be Kakko, depending on what they want to do. But personally, I would probably put Wheeler there over guy Kakko, have Kakko on that fourth line in there. And if Wheeler's not on that third line there and he's on that top line alongside Kreider and Zibanejad, then obviously Chytil be on that right wing spot on the third line there alongside Wennberg and Cooley. So there's 3 kind of options there, but in my opinion, I would like to see Wheeler there or Chytil, whichever one isn't on the top line there alongside Zibanejad and Kreider. Makes a lot of sense to have them there. And then for the fourth line, I would go Rempe or Brodzinski there for that third line left wing spot alongside Barclay Gaudreau will be that fourth line center for sure. And then Kakko as that fourth line right winger, or it could possibly be Wheeler there if Wheeler is not on that third line spot there. So that's kind of the chance where we could see Wheeler on the fourth line there or Kakko, but definitely we're not going to see Chytil on that fourth line in my opinion. And I do think it'll be very interesting to see what Peter Laviolette and his coaching staff decide to do. There are a lot of different combinations we could possibly see, and missing a guy like Jimmy Vesey due to an injury is definitely a big hit to this team. He's obviously not a top 6 superstar on this team, but he is a big part of this bottom 6, especially on that fourth line there. He's a good penalty killer, provides some good speed, a good two-way game. He is definitely a big loss for this team, and honestly, he would be on that fourth line there, in my opinion, if he was healthy, alongside Gaudreau and or Kakko and Blake Wheeler. So it'll be interesting to see what Peter Laviolette decides to do, but in my opinion, I would like to see Jack Roslovic as a healthy scratch. And another thing I wanted to talk about involving the New York Rangers lineup situation, especially in Game 5, was the fact that Matt Rempe only ended up playing 4 shifts for a total of 2 minutes and 43 seconds time on ice. In my opinion, there's no reason to have a guy out there on the lines if he's only going to have 4 shifts and play less than 3 minutes. There's no point at all. I mean, this is a guy who, I know he's not the most talented guy offensively or even defensively, but he's someone who's going to bring a lot of energy to this team, play a very physical game, and get the crowd fired up with no matter what he does. Whether he hits a guy, he touches the puck, makes the pass, the crowd's going to, get fired up a bit there so that he can bring a bit of energy into the building, which definitely can be a big factor, especially at home. So, in my opinion, like I said, there's no point in having a guy out here if he's only going to have 4 shifts. So, if you're not going to play much at all in Game 6, I think you probably should go with a guy like Brodzinski over a guy like Rempe or obviously Jack Roslovic if you got put down there on that fourth line. In my opinion, I just don't think Jack Roslovic should be in the lineup. And if Matt Rempe is only going to have 4 shifts, then he probably shouldn't be in the lineup either. And another big issue with this team is the fact that the star players, especially in this series against the Panthers, have not done a good enough job when it's mattered most. Going into Game 5 there, Kreider and Zibanejad had a total of 0 points. going into game 5 there, so 1 through 4, those games, they ended up having 0 points. Then in game 5 there, Mika Zibanejad ended up getting 2 assists there, one in the Lafreniere goal and one in the Kreider goals. And obviously Kreider had that 1 goal there, and he also got an assist on that Lafreniere goal, which is fine and all, but 2 points for each of them in 5 games played. That is not good enough for guys who are, playing in the top 6. They're getting a lot of minutes, getting that power play one time. They're supposed to be star players on this team, and they really have not played like it at all. And now taking a look at a guy like Artemi Panarin, who was a superstar player. He is the highest paid player on this New York Rangers squad, and he only has 3 points in 5 games played. He's got 3 assists there. 2 of them came in game 4 there, where those are fine assists and great and all, but only having 3 total points in 5 games played when you need this guy to really perform. And the overall kind of production out of him, the overall kind of chances he's created and his overall play has not been good enough, nowhere near good enough, honestly, in this series against the Panthers. He really needs to have a big game 6 here, really step up, because he is not playing anywhere near his value that he's getting on his contract. But then on the other side of things there, we have guys like Vincent Trocheck, Alexis Lafreniere, who I think have really done a great job so far in this Panthers series. I mean, Trocheck, he's got 5 points in 5 games played. Not too bad at all. I think he's played a really solid two-way game for the most part. And Alexis Lafreniere, he has 4 even strength goals. He has been absolutely fantastic. He's had some highlight reel goals as well. He has been truly phenomenal. And that's the big thing with him as well. He's not just getting it done on the power play, which he's getting no time there at all, really, and I would really like to see him be on that power play 1, especially with the struggles they've had. But Alexis Lafreniere, man, he has taken a massive step up in his overall play and confidence as well in these playoffs, especially in this series against the Panthers. He has been absolutely fantastic. He continues to score goals, and he has truly come up clutch into big moments for this team. And for Adam Fox, he's obviously not near 100% health, and I definitely don't think he's played great, but I also don't think he's played that bad. I think he's been solid, not amazing, definitely not playing like that true kind of number 1 Norris Trophy caliber guy that we know he can play like, and I think the health factor is definitely playing into that. But 3 assists in 5 games played is definitely not too bad, and the offensive production has been a bit better than what we've seen earlier on in these playoffs. And the special teams, the power play side of things there for the Rangers has been absolutely terrible. I'm sure some of you are probably tired of me talking about the power play, but it has been truly awful. I just want to touch on it quickly here. It has been terrible. 1 for 14, 7.1% hit rate is absolutely horrendous. It has to be better and really needs to step up clutch in Game 6 if this team wants to have any hopes of potentially competing in the Stanley Cup Finals. And for the penalty kill there, it does have 2 shorthanded goals in this series. It has a total of 6 shorthanded goals in the entire playoffs so far, which is amazing. The next closest team only has 2 shorthanded goals total in the playoffs, and that is the Panthers and Stars. So that's pretty good. They're having 2 shorthanded goals in this series, but in general, the PK has not been fantastic, but also hasn't been terrible, especially when you count in the fact that they do have 2 shorthanded goals in this series. It is hitting at a 72.2% right now, which is not too bad. 13 for 18 isn't terrible, but definitely not as good as you would like to see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. It helps out the channel a ton. If you are a Rangers fan, don't forget to subscribe for daily New York Rangers content. I do post every single day, and I will continue to do so throughout the offseason as well. And also, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on this series as a whole so far, and what are your thoughts for Game 6 in a must-win game for the Rangers.